Hello there, I'm Kaz, and we're going to talk about Microsoft's E3 2013 press conference.
Fist bump.
Microsoft, you've had nothing but bad news going into E3. Everybody's hitting you for your DRM and used game practices. And what do you do to address it at your press conference?
Nothing.
That's right, they did not say a single thing about the used games, the DRM. None of those were concerns to them. All they mentioned, I'm sorry if I'm looking down by the way, I have everything written down because this was a forgettable, incompetent press conference. Very incompetent. They are saying that it is $500 for the console. $500. You could probably get yourself a decent PC rig for $500. You could probably build a better one than the Xbox One with $500. In this economy, $500 for a console. The PS3, in a much better economic situation, went for $600 and it got slaughtered. Absolutely destroyed in sales. Yeah, there were people who obviously adopted it early, but we saw that $600 was a mistake. Sony's probably not going to price it as high as that. I'd expect $400 from them. $450 at most. I don't expect them to have the same thing, but I'm not going to get into the PS4, Xbox One debate. The point is, they screwed up with this big time. They announced that it was going to be $500. They're going to have a bunch of games, some of which aren't even exclusive, even though they said it was going to be an exclusive in the conference. The first of these that they announced in the show was Metal Gear Solid 5. Obviously, it's not going to be exclusive. It was on current consoles, so it's good that it's going to be coming out on that one as well. And it's good that they actually, I will say this, they actually had a Japanese developer on stage. That's something that Microsoft has really struggled with in the past, showing Japanese developers. They have not really been strong in the Japanese market for obvious reasons. They don't have many JRPGs, for one, on their consoles. They don't have a lot of the titles that would appeal to a Japanese market. And speaking of which, they did not show a single Japanese RPG there. Obviously, I'm incredibly disappointed, but it's to be expected. It's Microsoft. The fact of the matter is that they had Kojima come onto the stage, which was great. Another 5 that they showed, Halo 5. Nothing really to say. They didn't show any gameplay. They showed a trailer. It's coming out 2014. We have the Halo show coming out 2013. At least they're not having another Halo title coming out year after year like they've been doing since 2009, which is ridiculous. But I digress. The fact of the matter is that they actually have this Halo title, and all they really showed was a regular trailer, so nothing really to say. Don't really have much to say on the other 5. Forza 5. I'm not really a fan of racing games, so not much to say there. Rise. You want to know how the Romans conquered every other territory that they did? QuickTime events. QuickTime event after QuickTime event after QTE after QTE after QTE. That is exactly what they showed here. I think they showed more times where there was a QuickTime event, a B, a Y, an A, an X, a B, on screen than there was actual gameplay. The only time that I can remember that they didn't have some random button flashing in front of your face was where they had the arrows. No, wait, they even did with that, like, to block the shield. But even then, they at least had gameplay with that. So, they had them raising the shield, which was interesting. It looked like they were trying to do a strategy title, or something along the lines of a strategy title, which, considering Rome and Roman history, is interesting. But the QuickTime events, and the rest of the game, and the possibility of it apparently being a Kinect title? No. No. I'm not getting that at all, okay? If that is a Kinect as well, they didn't address the Kinect as well being always on, even though that you can turn it off and it can record your audio. They didn't address that as far as my knowledge goes, but I digress. Dead Rising 3. This is not going to be an exclusive, I can tell you that right now. If Titanfall had the issue of being, which it is not an exclusive as I said before, I think I tweeted about this, it's not an exclusive. It is on Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC. They lied about that. What makes you think that Capcom of all companies, the honest, trustworthy people that they are going to tell the truth about this game being an exclusive? They're going to pull what they did with Rayman Legends, where they're going to have it built on the PS4, or the PC, or whatever console, the Wii U. There's no way that this is going to be an exclusive. I can tell you that right now. That being said, the dark, gritty, gray-brown zombie game, it looked fun. It actually was probably one of the only titles, along with Titanfall, that was actually quite interesting. If it is an exclusive, this isn't like Bayonetta, where they had the game basically published by the people who announced it. This is basically them going with Capcom's franchise, which has had 2 games which have been on Xbox 360 and PS3 before, being an exclusive. This is like if all of a sudden Red Dead Redemption 2, or Red Dead, whatever they would call the next one, they've had 2 Red Dead titles, being a PS4 exclusive. It wouldn't make any sense. But either way, it looks fun. So I can give them that. That was probably the only other title that was discussed besides Titanfall that was actually interesting. There were a few smaller titles which I don't really have much to say about individually. I can't remember many of the names. There was Sunset Overdrive. It looked alright. I mean, I believe it was made by the same people who made, what was it, Psychonauts? I'm not sure. Somebody's going to correct me in the comments about that, but they showed that. They also showed another title that was called Below. Again, looked interesting. Not exactly a system seller, but what might be a system seller might. This is probably the biggest surprise, although not too surprising considering Microsoft's trademark issues with Fox earlier.
Ultra Combo! Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. I did not see that coming, with all honesty. I'm still waiting for a new Conquer game. That would probably be a title that I would actually be incredibly interested in. I'd be like, okay, I gotta know everything about this. But this was a surprise. This is the combo breaker of the entire press conference. I don't think anybody saw this coming as far as the exclusive title that they were going to have done. But, I don't know. The demo, however, everybody's already made a big deal about it on the internet, about the language that was used. I got flack for what I said in the Tomb Raider review about the rape, about Lara Croft being potentially raped, and the implications of such. But, I'm sorry, when you have people who are saying, just let it happen, it'll be over soon, and the girl is saying, I don't like this, and then he says, you'll like this. You take your script. You take it. You rip it in half. And you start over. You do not go on stage and have that. There were a few stammers here and there. There were the audio issues. But this was unbelievable that they actually had that at this press conference. This language, this implied trash talk. The trash talk, which, by the way, is not helping the fighting game community, which has been attacked for such things as not being friendly, sexism. This is not helping. This is furthering that stereotype about it. Oh, and Rare. I don't know if they're working on the new Killer Instinct. My internet kind of broke up in that stream, but they are apparently doing another Kinect title. We're not really surprised. Rare's been dead for years. The developers have moved on. They've left them. They were a shadow of their former self. They're basically like a name. That's all they are. They're a name on a balance sheet on Microsoft's part. They're a subsidiary of them, nothing more. This press conference was, I wouldn't say it's a disaster, but it did not do a single thing to address any of the issues. The titles that were announced, a lot of them look like they're going to be fun. But a lot of them look like they're also going to be multi-platforms, if not timed exclusives. You don't think that Capcom's going to take Dead Rising 3 and eventually release Dead Rising 3 Case Adam West or Frank West, my apologies. Adam West being in that, though, would be awesome. I would buy the console for that.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
So, bottom line, Microsoft, you failed at this press conference. You did not do a complete disaster of a press conference like you've been doing since 2009, but you did pretty poor. And yes, of course, if Nintendo and Sony screw up theirs, I'm gonna call them out on that. I'm gonna be talking about theirs, of course. I'm not gonna talk about EA's because, let's be honest, it's EA. Sports. Possibly Mirror Edge 2. They're gonna announce a Star Wars game no matter what. By the time this video goes out, there's probably gonna be an announced Battlefront 3 or something like that. But I digress. Maybe Ubisoft will talk about, but as for now, until next time, game on, my friends.